Okay, here's a special summer segment, and it's juicy, sweetie. Inspired by my favorite tabloids, it's time for Hot Summer Feuds. It's my favorite time of year. You know summer is on.
Yes,
when
girl.
the tabloids are lined up and all your favorite stars are feuding. Nina Bonita Brown. What? That was just a quick blip of fire on Twitter recently. What was going on there?
I think it goes without saying that Nina and I have a pretty complicated relationship.
Do you? I've never heard of that.
We've had some bumps in the road. And Lee Dawson he was at my show in London and had uploaded a video of me performing, and I was just like, oh my God, I had no idea that he was there, and I'm a really huge fan of like the RuCap, so I was, I was really happy, and I was like excited, and I looked down, and the first comment is from Nina, and it's just all like, how come you can't, you know, ever take a video of me when I'm in town, but you'll take one of her. And like, here's the thing. A lot of people see I find that this tends to be a pattern because I'm a Aquarius, you know, we're pretty easygoing. I'm a fixed air sign, but you know, we can be fiery too. And I feel like sometimes people try and test me to see like how many times I'm willing to take the high road. And then when I clap back at someone, then they're like, I was joking. But see, she didn't say JK.
Right.
She didn't say JK.
She did not say none of that shit.
Yeah, she didn't say JK. Yeah. So I was just all like, I didn't take it as a joke. I was just all like, okay, she's trying to hate. So I hadn't had my morning blunt and my coffee yet.
See, that's her fault.
That's her fault. She should have known.
She should have knew.
And I went up there and, you know, I maybe made a comment, you know, basically saying, here goes Ida Benina hating from the sidelines, and if you spit this amount of effort, you know, into your work and not hating on me, then you'd be able to get out of your parents' basement. But
hold on a second.
Oh my God!
I stand corrected because she lives in their attic.
Bitch.
The fans cleared that up for me. The fans cleared that up for me.
They cleared it up.
They did. They did. But yeah, you know, we had like a little tiff back and forth on the Twitter. It's still complicated with me and Nina.
Right. It seems like that relationship is not going to be easily packaged away and put on the shelf.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. I just think that. We'll never actually really like trust one another, and I think that that's something that's like really fundamental in like being good sisters.
Right.
Like, I don't have anything against Nina. I think that she's really talented and, you know, really special, and I really do hope for the best for her, honestly.
Okay, I like that. And ending with a positive cherry on top. I enjoy that.
Yes.
Oh, this was another one. Hot Summer Feud. Bob versus Shea versus the Vixen. It was like a super match of Hot Summer Feuds.
Just pow, pow, pow.
That one came when I was on Twitter with that one. I was like, whoa. Hey.
Yeah.
Those were zooming back and forth. So what was the story on that?
Okay. One thing that I will say is I am extremely defensive over my friends. There was actually one time I was like on the phone with Todrick, and Todrick was like, you know, I was just explaining like a friendship of mine. He was just all like, girl, I wish I had a ride or die friend like you. I need a friend like you. And I was just all like, bitch, yes, because like when you get me, like when you got me on your side, like I am a ride or die kind of bitch. And there was just a situation where someone had asked Vixen just kind of like a question basically about why she goes about her advocacy the way that she does, you know. Why not take like a softer approach, you know, which is something that's consistently asked of her. And she made a point saying, you know, a lot of these major movements, she was just all like, slavery did not get abolished because we all were like, you know, playing nice and like asking politely for our freedom. She's like, civil rights weren't a thing because we were sitting down and politely asking to be treated equal. And she's like, and this is very much so the same. And Bob commented on the tweet saying, I'm sorry, are you equating and tagged RuPaul's Drag Race to slavery? And I was just all like, okay, hold on, wait a minute, sis.
Too far.
Wait a minute, sis.
Way too far.
I was just like, I don't think that that's necessarily where my there it is.
Oh, there it is.
See, they got the receipts.
That's the shot.
They got the receipts. and
Good job,
and like,
staff, for bringing the receipts.
for me, honestly, I was just like, had she not have like tagged the brand and like kind of like brought the brand into it, it would have been totally different.
Yeah.
But to me, I kind of was just all like, firstly, that's not what Vixen is talking about. And I feel like she's consistently trying to like battle people misinterpreting the things that she says because of the way that she says them. But they come from a really honest and pure place. And I appreciate people that are able to be like really authentic. And so I just kind of, you know, I felt like as a fellow Black queen, it just didn't really sit with me correctly. And so, you know, they obviously had their like back and forth. And then, you know, Bob made a tweet basically saying, you know, hey, you know, white people, if two Black people are talking about their experiences, it's not your place to comment on it, which is true. However, I was like, the conversation wouldn't have been there for these white people to comment on if you would have texted her in the first place and asked that question, you know? And Bob was just all like, well, girl, you're hitting me with this, couldn't you text, but don't you see that like the irony is like not lost on you? And I was just all like, I'm not saying that the irony is not lost on me, but I'm also giving you a dose of your own medicine to see it's not a good feeling, is it? You don't like the way that this feels for someone to like call you out, to have a sister call you out like that, you know? So we went back and forth, and you know, she said, "Stop tweeting me."
Right, in all caps.
Stop tweeting me. And so, out of respect, I stopped tweeting her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I'm a
No
respectful
problem.
girl.
I'm busy.
Yeah, no, it's very that. I was just all like, okay, well, I was just all like, if you don't want to have this conversation, you want me to stop tweeting you, I was just all like, I'll go do something else.
All right, last but not least, the last Hot Summer Feud doesn't even really involve you, but does a little bit. And I want to know your opinion. Hot Summer Feud, Azalea Banks versus RuPaul.
Well, she blocked me.
Oh, yeah, she did.
Yeah, she blocked me. She blocked me before she started talking shit about me. Now, if you want to be a bad bitch, Azalea,
right?
You talk shit about the bitch, like don't block a bitch if you gonna talk shit. Like give them a chance to like clap it, because like, you know, she loves to go toe to toe with people on Twitter.
Yeah.
But it's like sometimes I think she like knows like you don't really want to fuck with a queen like that, because like we will bring it too.
Yeah.
Azalea, I really tried to like, you know, stick up for her and, you know, be a supporter of her. But we tried collaborating. That didn't really work out too well. Yeah, and even after that, I was just
Whatever happened with that? Did you guys ever meet? I mean, how far did it get?
No,
we were all excited.
I flew all the way out to New York to go into the studio with her, and she blew me off for 2 days straight.
Really? This
and I was just all like, and I was just, that's the tea. And I was just all like, girl, I had things that I could be doing. And I was just all like, and I used my miles.
Not the miles.
I used my miles, girl, to come out there and try and record with your ass.
Right.
But you couldn't be bothered to show up to the studio. So I was
Is that
just
what
like,
happened? You just sat and waited for her? The shade of it all.
Yeah, just sat there waiting. I'm not.
How long did you wait?
2 days.
Pause right here.
2 days. I was in New York for 2 days. I just waited around for her for 2 days, and we did not even get together. And even after that, I still was just like, you know, we all have our days.
Right.
But yeah, after the whole thing with Call Me Mother, and then her saying the things that she said about RuPaul, and then the things that she was saying about drag queens in general, I was just all like, girl, you are so canceled. Just like go and just be a hater over there in the haters section, you know, and we'll just be over here celebrating each other with our Emmy Award-winning television show and our Emmy Award-winning hosts and all of our cute bops that our fans love. So, like, stay pressed, but be blessed.
All of that.
Very well, and that has been Hot Summer Feuds. Yay! You did good as a superstar would. Just each one, doink, doink, doink. I was like, they were like, will she be mad if we talk about this? I'm like, she said it all in public.
Yeah, absolutely. I said it all. I was just like, if I put it out there on Twitter, then I absolutely own up to it.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, like, specifically, too, about the Nina tweet, I, like, deleted it, like maybe like 5 minutes after. I was just like, ooh, girl, that was like harsh. I don't know.
Right.
But obviously people had already taken screenshots. And so then Nina was like tweeting like, hey, what's going on? And so I had to like be like, well, you see what I had said was. Because, you gotta hold yourself accountable, which I always try to do. Because like, there's nothing I dislike more than like a grown-ass person not taking accountability for their actions. So
you guys have it. It's not easy to be a Drag Race star because there's 128 of y'all.
Yeah,
and everybody has their moments and their things, and the fans that are watching and just waiting for every crumb.
Yes,
to like flick it back at the other person, to screenshot it. I mean,
you'd be surprised the stuff that I don't even catch that gets like brought to me by other people. They're like, did you see what so and so had like said?
Oh.
I'll be like, what did she say? They're all like, oh, did you see Charlie Hides on Hey Qween TV? And I was just all like, what did she say?
Wow, I forgot about that. I forgot that was on our own show, and I forgot.
What she has said? So like sometimes like you like even miss it and it gets like brought up to you, but I was just all like, well. So I had to ask her on Twitter, Charlie, what's good?
Yeah, what's good?
Yeah.
What's good? You got all Nicki Minaj and Miley Cyrus on that one.
I did. I shared that gift because I was just all like, this little bitch, they got all this shit to say in the press.
All right, well, it is time now to jump in the time machine and find out how you became the queen you are today. Ooh, we're traveling through time and space, and we've landed. And we are in Plainfield, Illinois.
Oh, Jesus.
Where you were a little Shea Coulee.
Yeah.
You were born into a very religious family.
Yes, ma'am.
Your mom was a minister.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about baby Coulee and what that was like.
Growing up, it was actually really lovely. I'm the youngest of 5 kids. And, I was like lucky, had both like mom and dad in the home, really just hardworking people that wanted to just raise us to be hardworking people, to go out there, be kind to people, and to just do our best to leave a positive impression on the world. And even though we grew up going to church like every Sunday, I just knew that I was different, than what I was taught was the norm. I just knew that I wasn't, the same. And in so many ways, I know that my parents knew, but there's like this like level of denial, like, oh, they'll grow out of it.
Right. He's very special.
Yeah, he likes playing in your dresses, but it's okay because he'll grow out of it. And I was just all like, well, yes, I grew out of your dresses, Mom, because I got so much taller than you. But then I grew into getting my own dresses. But yeah, no, growing up, it was challenging. Coming out was not easy.
Yeah, when did that happen?
I came out at 15.
Okay.
Not particularly by choice, but I was already really coming to the realization of like who I was, like just as a queer person. And we used to every Sunday night watch the ABC lineup. We would watch Desperate Housewives. And the character Brie Vandekamp, she had a gay son.
Right.
And at the end of the episode, they would always have the like dead friend Mary Alice like narrate, and you would see all these different like tableaus of people within the neighborhood.
Right.
And this one episode, he's like making out with his boyfriend like behind like the fence, like on the side of the house. And they're like teenage boys, and I was a teenage boy. And my mom was so like scandalized by ABC showing 2 teenage boys like kissing, and she was just all like, I can't believe that they would show that. How dare they put that on there, these 2 teenage boys kissing like that? And she goes on like kind of like this rant for like a solid like 30 seconds. I'm just sitting there like, ooh. I'm like, we gotta dust that fan. And then, like, she stops in the middle of this rant, singles my ass out of everyone in the family. She's just like, don't you have anything to say about that?
Oh.
And I was just all like, no. She's just like, you don't see anything wrong with that? And I was just all like, no. And then she just looked at me and she goes, are you gay? And like, I was like fixing my mouth to say no, but before I could, like the truth just came out and I was just all like, yes.
Wow.
And she like, I could tell it hit her like a ton of bricks. And she was just like, so you like men? And I was just all like, no, technically I like boys. And then she just started crying.
Oh no.
And I'm sitting there being like, I feel like I just got outed in front of my family. Shouldn't I be the one crying? But I was just all like, I knew that for her, because my mom, she had one gay friend growing up. And he was actually a mutual friend of her and my dad's, because he went to the Naval Academy where my dad went to school. And he was one of the people that actually introduced them. But he wound up dying of AIDS in the 80s. And so that being the only gay friend that she had, that was her experience of what it would be like, you know, as a gay person. So like immediately she was just like really wrapped up in a lot of fear and concern. But over like the years, we just continued working on it. And eventually my parents came around to like just developing a better understanding. I would give them like books and like documentaries and I'd be like, here, just like take this information and just like, you know, we got this, you know, I'm still your son. And, you know, it wasn't anything that was like, you know, I didn't get like thrown out of the house, which was like one of my biggest concerns. You know, they still continue to be my parents and love me, you know, just the same. And that's all as a kid, you could ever really ask for. So I was really, really blessed in that aspect to have such great parents.
Now, to watch exclusive footage with Miss Shea Coulee that they won't let us keep in the show, honey, you have to go to the Hey Qween TV Patreon. That's patreon.com/Hey Qween TV for all the bonus material from this very interview that you won't be able to see unless you go there, right? Right, Shea?
Right, absolutely. You gotta go.
I gotta go, right?
What you waiting on?
Why are you waiting?
Children, to see part 3 of this interview, click here. To see more Hey Qween fabulousness, click here. And don't forget to subscribe, bitch! Hey! Hey! Hey!